people, my name's Pete. This is another instalment of the Pilot 520 rebuild, the Hooligan. In the last instalment we actually laminated up a flybridge, actually test fitted it, fitted okay, really made up with the result. Anyway, this one, we've took the floor up in a Pilot 520. If you didn't know, because I didn't know, the actual ribs and stringers are one construction, they're made out of fiberglass, but I must say they're just slapped together. So we took out them section by section, ground the boat floor down, got rid of all the rubbish, strengthened the actual ribs and the stringer on the underside before we laminated it back in a lot stronger. Before I laminated it back in, I actually put 4 layers of chopped strand and woven on the floor all the way to the front. At the front of the boat, we've actually put in a strengthening box. There was no rib whatsoever running across the front of the boat, so we've actually built in like a triangular shaped box at the front. We've also made it so everything drains to the back when there's water, if the water gets inside it, and we've actually put a sump in the back for the bilge pump. Anyway, on with the video. Right people, this is what we're left with. The deck's up, and as you can see, the actual ribs in a Pilot are fiberglass. Not very good actually, but it's still there. So the idea is, I think we're going to take them out. So what do you think about that underneath fiberglass? We've actually got chipboard. It's just completely disintegrated. Anyway, get back to you when we start stripping these beams out. I'm going to put an extra couple of layers of glass on it and a bit of marine ply. Couple of layers on floor underneath, check the keel out, which we're going to do on the outside, and get on with it. Anyway, that's it for now. Right, here we are back in the boat. What I've actually done is on the internal, on the transom, there's 3 layers of 450 chopped strand mat gone in. There's a 1/2 inch plywood board gone in, marine ply. That's been cavasiled in. That's just screwed in with some 3/4 inch screws at the moment, squeezed out all round. Tomorrow when that's dry, we'll grind that back and we'll get another 2 or 3 layers on there, and then we can go back to putting the ribs in. We've strengthened the ribs up like I showed you, but I'll just show you again, show you how stiff they've gone. As you remember, actually lined it out, crossed it over. It won't grind it down just to match. It does taper actually from front to back, so we'll grind that off tomorrow before we put them in. But as you can see, there's no flexing whatsoever, whereas before it used to waggle all over the place. So we'll be grinding floor out tomorrow, grinding the edges off this on the sides here where you can see it's been a dry layup, and then 2 or 3 layers of 450 chopped strand mat, plenty of resin, and that'll be the back end of the stringers done. Then we can take the front stringers out. I've left the front stringers in for the simple reason is it's left a little bit of rigidity in the boat. Right, here we go. We've got the front stringer and rib out. It needs all this trimming off. As you can see, there's not very much to it. It's very flimsy. We're going to strengthen it up like the other one with a bit of the old yellow flooring that came out originally. As you can see, it's quite thick. Fiberglass on one side. I'm going to grind that down nice and clean and attach it to that with some cavasil and resin. I'll just show you inside of the boat now where that's come out of. As you see, we've got this one in now, nice and tight. Plenty of fiberglass in, 3 layers, chopped strand. That section there that runs down the centre of the hull, now I'm going to grind back with 40 grit on a flat disc and clean it all up, and then we're going to put 2 layers of 450 chopped strand mat in and a layer of 450 woven. That's before we put the stringers back in once they've been strengthened up. At the front there's no actual stringer or whatever you want that goes across the boat at the front. There's just this one here that sits here. So what we're going to do is put an extra one in and strengthen it towards the front of the boat. We'll get back to you when it's all ground down. Right, I've had a good clean up, and all the bottom's been wiped over twice with acetone. Let it dry off once, then gone over it again. So now it's ready to start laying some fiberglass down. Here we go. Right, here we go. 24 hours later, 2 layers of 450 chopped strand and 2 layers of 350 woven. The centre down top of keel, that's had an extra couple of layers, and at the edges, I call them chines but they're not, they've had a couple of extra layers as well. So we're ready to put it ribs back in. That'll be tomorrow, so hopefully that's a lot stronger than what it was originally. Right, here we go. Temporary glassed in, not fully glassed in, so that's all stringers back in now. The idea is up the front here now, I'm going to add another rib, well another string. There's no support at the front actually, as you can see at the bottom there alongside the main structure that runs through. There's another 4 layers of fiberglass been built up there, so there's plenty of strength. But I want to put another stringer in across, well another rib in across, and put a little bit more strength up that front. So that's my next plan. I'm going to form one off on a bit of melamine, and then we'll get it in. I'll get back to you when we've formed it up. Right, there's your strengthening at the front. It's 18 marine ply. It's had 4 or 5 layers of between chopped strand and woven, plenty of resin, cavicilled in. So the next job is to clean all this lot up and get some floor coat on it before we put floor down, so it's all nicey. Bottom corners I've left empty. It's not a buoyancy tank, that's to allow water to run out. Along the edges here I'm going to put some holes in as well so it doesn't build up if we get any water in here. Get back to you when we floor coated it. Right people, here we go. Boat's been floor coated. Ribs and stringer that runs out middle. As you can see the front box that we put in, strengthened the front up, made it a bit more rigid. It's all been floor coated and resined in, all been smoothed out. All the compartments in between will drain to the centre, so it can drain to the back, so if any water actually gets in the boat it won't sit there like it used to in the old days. And then we'll use bilge pump to pump it out. There's a sump at the back. Next job, floor. I decided before I put floor down I'm going to laminate 2 seat boxes up. We're not using pedestals as we're using Nyloplast floor. Right people, that's the end of that video. The next one I'm going to be constructing 2 seat boxes with doors, with a bit of storage. I'm going to laminate them up from fiberglass using the old kitchen melamine again. The problem is I'm going to use a Nyloplast floor, so you can't really screw anything down to the floor once it's in. There's just no strength there for it to get hold of. So we'll be actually laminating the boxes on once we put the floor down. The idea is to get the floor down, and as we're laminating on top of the floor with the fiberglass and resin, we'll actually be laminating the boxes in, so it'll just be one structure. Anyway, if you like this, like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.